Hello, good afternoon, my dear teacher. My name is Ana Maria Barros from Listening and Speaking 3 class. I am going to give you my point of view about the interview that I have had the last week with my niece Janine about the space exploration. Well, I am going to start with the first question. Is space an important frontier for human exploration inspiration? Well, for this question, I think as my niece Janine in her answer, she mentioned about creation of many products that at first were inspiration for space exploration, but now it can be used here on Earth and promote a great medical progress with products like artificial limbs. So for me, the space is a great inspiration to explore the research potential. I agree with my niece. The second question says, does space exploration benefit science human understanding? Well, in this case, my niece replied that it greatly benefits our progress, but in the response, I disagree because the cost invested which is really exaggerated, does not justify in a great way the progress achieved. Uh, there is money that could be better invested in internal scientific advances. So I disagree with my niece in the second question. Well, the third question says, should space exploration be publicly funded? From my point of view, it should not be financed with public and private funds, as my niece answered. Preferably, it should be the own management of interested scientists or NASA to seek direct funding and can sponsor this type of research. So I disagree again with my niece in the third question. Next question says, does the human race need to be able to move to another planet? In this question, I agree with my niece because she mentioned that we have done enough damage to our planet to think of opening uh, frontiers to another. I think equally, we need to be more reasonable, and it is necessary to be more careful with our planet and help to preserve the ecosystem before thinking to move to another planet. So in this question, I agree with my niece. Next question says, are missions to Mars important and worth funding? My niece mentioned that the investment is perhaps not so justifiable if the advances are not optimal. In my case, I think the same, and I mentioned in question 2, I think that investment made in exploration can be better invested in internal scientific advances. And always is better internal than external. I think so. Okay, next one says, should people be flown to space instead of robots? For my niece, sending humans maybe is a great risk and comes with many challenges for the human body, but maybe it's a great experience to comply if the technology gives the security. For me, although it seems exciting to imagine to going into space, but robots are the best decision at the moment because we don't know the real risk and consequences it can be for the human health. For me, the robots are the best decision. Well, next one says, is sending humans to space good for international relations? In this case, my niece's response was neutral. She mentioned that it might be positive to create a kind of competition that may be good to motivate technological and scientific advances. But from my point of view, this type of competition may have pros and cons and can cause unnecessary hostility between nations. So for me, it's not a good idea. Well, the last question says, should opponents of space exploration still be required to contribute? For my niece, it was a positive response. In my case, I believe that nobody should be forced to contribute if it is not an expression of the common interest or it is not necessary. Well, uh, here are my all answers of the interview, and I hope it is okay. Um, Thank you very much, and my best wishes for you. Goodbye.